Hello, driving intelligence community. If you have a vehicle equipped with a moonroof and you have stains on your rear quarter trim panel similar to this, then you probably have a plugged drain from that moonroof. I'm going to disassemble the drain system on this 2006 Cadillac CTS-v, get those drains unplugged, and also clean these trim panels. Now, before we get started, there's one tip I need to point out. Don't leave your sunroof open under a tree, outside. In general, keep it closed if you're not in the vehicle. I know it's nice to try to help and keep the car cool, but leaving it open allows debris to get in there. As a matter of fact, I don't even open mine up until I start driving to make sure everything's blown off the top of the vehicle, so none of that falls into the operation of the moonroof. Now let's get into the drains. This vehicle has 4 drains from the moonroof, one on each corner. The front 2 go down the A-pillar, and then the back 2 that we're focusing on today go from the back all the way down to C-pillar, into the trunk, and then down into the wheel well. So we're going to start off with our disassembly in the trunk. The drain lines are easy to access. They're behind these panels, but to get to the panel, you've got to take everything out of the trunk, the carpet. You can see these pins that need to be removed. This trim panel that's along the back has to be removed. And then you can pull that side panel forward or into the trunk, and that will give you access to that drain line. Pull the interior trunk panel out of the way, and you can see I've removed the drain. A little water came out of there, but that's where it goes down into the wheel well. That's what needs to be cleaned out. So I'm going to use a pipe cleaner or some kind of piece of wire to run inside there and see if there's some blockage that's preventing it from coming down. I have to go up the pipe as well as down into the wheel well. Make sure you put a rag down here when you clean it out, because garbage will come out of that. I don't know if you can see it very well, but there was debris. You can see some junk on there. I took the other tube off, and that made it easier to clean this piece, that pipe, that is actually what was plugged. If you can hear me over this exhaust, you can see the dripping. I've actually poured some water into the channel where the sunroof is, and I have cleared the blockage, so now I can put it all back together. As a final check, I reconnected everything, and you can see that it's draining properly. Driver's side has been completed. Now I got to do the passenger side. It's going to be the same process, just disconnecting the hose, the drain hose, and making sure it's clear. Success on both sides, so it's clear. Now I can clean the interior panels. I like to take extra steps when I disassemble, and you can see here by this trim panel that it's scuffed up and marked. So I restore it using adhesion promoter and some black paint. In order to get these interior trim panels off so you can clean those stains, you could do it in place, but I decided to take it off so I could clean the entire panel. You got to remove the airbag plug, and behind that is a 7mm bolt. I've already done it on this side. Now you get a good view of how filthy these quarter trim panels are because of that water leak. I couldn't tell it was this dirty inside the vehicle, but it is filthy, both of them. And one of these is damaged. So I'm gonna have to do some epoxy repair work on that to get it back where it needs to be so I can reinstall it. So I'm gonna gently figure out how to clean this, get all this nastiness off of here. I had no idea how dirty my trim panels were, the interior panels, until I cleaned this one. And all I used was a soft bristle brush with some dish soap. Look at the difference. Look how filthy this one is in comparison. Haven't cleaned it yet, about to do that right now. But just to show you that you take these panels off, use some dish soap, light brush, and a hose, and the results can be pretty fantastic. Now that I've thoroughly cleaned this panel, I need to repair the damage created by the previous owner. Before I put this tape on, I think I showed you that there was some broken plastic here, and it was being held in place by a metal backing plate that held the screw. I wanted something that's secure and I didn't have to worry about falling into the vehicle. So what I'm going to do is take a scrap piece of plastic and cut this to size to make sure it's the same shape as this squared section here. And then I'll puddle some epoxy in there sandwich that epoxy with this piece of plastic, and that'll give me a nice secure location to drill through to match up where it should be mounted in the back of the car. Okay, as I mentioned, I've put some tape around this to just to contain the epoxy when I put it in here. I'm going to use a 2-part epoxy. I'm going to cut this piece of plastic out for perfect size using these tin snips, and this will definitely give me a secure location for mounting. So now I've got this pile of epoxy that's hardened, and I need to drill it, but I need to make sure that the hole is in the right place. So I'm going to use a marker. I'm going to try to paint some material on that where it screws in and see if I can't get an impression back here where the hole should be drilled. That seems to have worked. I got a spot right there. So that hole must be a little bit higher than that. That's where I'm going to drill the hole and make it big enough where I got a little bit of play. So I was able to line it up as I indicated with the paint, and I've used tape to hold that screw on, and now this corner panel is installed and I can put my airbag plug back in, and that side is done. Unfortunately, with the age of these vehicles, this being a 2006, these little plugs tend to break, and mine broke coming out. So what I do when I go to pick and pulls, there's plenty of CTSs in the junkyard. I go and carefully try to get another one out. I pick up a little collection of that just to make sure that I have what I need to finish a project. So next time you go to a U-Pull-It yard, you might want to grab some of this kind of stuff if you're doing a project. Or at least if it breaks, you know where to go to get some of these. And with that last tip, everything is installed. We close another video on driving intelligence. Thanks for watching.